What's up, everybody? Today we're going to be taking a look at the Cosmic Legions Book 1 Hvalkatar Wave, Sphexxian Block Commander, and the Sphexxian Prison Guard. These are also kind of army builders in that they are generic characters that you can kind of buy multiples of and switch them around if you like certain features, or if you want certain features changed to make them look a little bit different. I did only get one of these for the wave, but I wanted to review them together because they do basically share the entire same body type, with very, very few minor differences. First off, we got to talk about appearance. How are these guys going to look on your shelf? The Sphexxian Prison Guard, in my opinion, both of these guys have a fantastic paint job. Very metallic, you can see. Nice little colors that are highlighted all throughout the body, like little pink highlights. Metallic, like a copper color throughout his body. Even like really great detail on the sculpt for the wings. Look at the texture on those wings, man. I did a lot of research with bugs in college, and man, the texture of bug wings is really interesting, and so I'm loving that there. Really great sculpting on the abdomen section here, as well as paint. Look at all the little details that just really didn't need to be here, but they just went ahead and they put a lot of paint detail on the back of this guy, and that's awesome. You can also notice some paint detail on the hands. This guy has some like little green patches on the backs of his hands. Look at the face. We've got an awesome sculpt on the face, and some great paint detailing on there as well. If I pull this apart, we can see he's got these really cool little mandible pincher grabber things. Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about that. Got these little like arm things that are like tucked into his body. Those are really cool. And then he's got these little hands sticking out. I think that they look good, but I do have some problems with them. And then over here to the Prison Guard. Prison Guard also has basically the entire same sculpt, but his head is clearly helmeted rather than unhelmeted like the Prison Guard or the Block Commander. And you can pop this off and swap it with the Block Commander, but then your Block Commander is going to have like either no head or he's going to have a blue head, and that just doesn't look good. But if you wanted to, you could have an unmasked Prison Guard by doing that. Prison Guard has the same kind of awesome paint detailing on him. Really love the color of the blue. Like, it's metallic, but also maybe like a little color shifty in my opinion. I like that when the light hits it, it really like almost changes hue as well. Then the light blue accents, even in like the little gap there, that's really nice. Helmeted sculpt I think is pretty cool. I think the other one is a little bit more interesting. The same texture on the wings back here. Sorry, that's my cat. She's like trying to get up here. And I don't think I can stop her. And then the thorax with more of a brown paint scheme on this guy, but still a lot of paint detailing, and I think that's fantastic as well. Think that there's some reuse in the arms and the legs. So articulation wise, like those are going to be the same as the Tusk Science Officer, but definitely a new sculpt on the body section and the feet, and the head. Appearance, it's really clear that I like these guys. I think that they're really well painted, and I think that they have an awesome sculpt. But it's 4 horsemen. They're of course going to be great, right? Where I have some gripes is going to come into, I guess, where I'll consider articulation. And let's see. Articulation wise, he's good. He's fun. You can get him into like decent poses, cool. But the problem that I have, and that's the problem that I have, is I think out of all the people in this wave, the Sphexxian Block Commander and the Prison Guard, have some of the worst fitting accessories in the entire line. And I spent so much time just trying to make these fit better, trying to make them like more snug, trying to make them actually like pop in better. But I think it's ultimately a problem with like the sculpt. Because I cannot, for the life of me, I cannot get this to just sit in here and do something cool. And I did take a look at other reviewers to see like what they had to say about it, and they include these in like the accessories section so that they like pop them in and then they pop them out and they don't really have to say anything about them. And I'm like, this is like really a problem for me, because I want to have him doing cool stuff, right? Like, these are extra arms essentially, and so I want him to be able to hold stuff in them. And if I have a toy and like I'm trying to put it in like cool poses and I have to spend more than half the time just trying to get them, just trying to like stop them from falling apart, then that's a problem for me. And so I could get him to hold this, but like you saw his arm popped out the first time, and I'm on camera, so it's a little harder, but that's just been the situation for me, is I cannot get him to hold that. Cannot get him to hold stuff very well, or like I'll be trying to like get him to hold the gun, and then that'll cause one of these to fall out, or it'll cause a wing to fall out, because the wings are also removable. The mandibles here are also removable, but like these are really snug, really good fit. It's mostly the wings and the little thorax grabbers here that just, I don't know what it is, but I've peeled paint trying to put these back on. I've done absolutely everything trying to get them to just sit in there snugly, and you can just see like right now, like this one's not snug in there, like there's a wiggle to it. And the same for the wings. Like if I just I don't know how to show this on camera necessarily, but like the wings, like that's not really like appropriate for me. Like these are wings, they're supposed to go in and they're supposed to be able to stay high. Oh, his arm fell off from the front. And they'll do it for a little bit and then they'll slide down, or if you like go to jiggle it or move it, the wings will, because this joint is not a tight joint. And if I pull it out, you can see like I've destroyed this joint trying to get in there, and I like that shouldn't happen for a normal joint. And I think it's because the sculpt for the holes is not the right size, because these should not be tearing each other up like that. Like that's getting destroyed as well, the peg. And all I've been doing is trying to get it in the hole, but like the peg destroys the paint, and it's not good. It's not good. Let's see, is this one as bad? This one's not as bad, but you can still see there's some significant wear in there. And that's like, I've played with these guys the least. So, because I don't like dealing with putting them back together over and over again. And maybe I could just leave these accessories off. Like, that is, I guess, what they are. They are accessories. But no, they look cool with them. So, like, I want him to have his wings. I want him to have, I'm not going to put the little torso thing back on. But I just think the engineering is off on those. And I don't know. That's the first time that I've really had that from Four Horsemen, so I am really disappointed in that. But for the rest of the body, for the articulation, you do have a lot of motion on the head. Really awesome. Left, right. It is hindered by the collar here a little bit. As far as like left and right. Up will go a little bit up, and down will go a decent amount down. And then of course there's rotation all the way around. Soft antenna do get in the way a little bit, but that's fine. They're soft. So then arms, they will go about a little less than 90 degrees up. They're hindered by this large shoulder piece right here. And then they will bend about 90 degrees as well. Pretty decent. The hands are going to bend up and down, vertically, I guess. They're pretty good. Depending on like which orientation you have them in, their up and down is going to be a little bit hindered by the gauntlets here. And then for the legs, because he's got kind of a different kind of like groin area here, his legs will go really far forward, really well to the side, and then like not really backwards at all because this little thorax or this little abdomen piece in the back. Cool. Let's just take those off. And then his knees will bend about 90 degrees. His feet will come forward. They'll go back. They'll twist really decently, especially inwards. Man, that twist inwards is awesome. And then kind of like the most contentious joint as well, because he's got so much stuff in the middle here, he doesn't really have like any kind of ab crunch, and his waist also just doesn't want to move either. So there's like no movement like up or down, which I guess is not a deal breaker for me, but he'll swivel all day, but there's no up and down there. These guys are mostly standing up kind of men. But, I mean, I guess you could kind of account for that in the fact that those legs, and ankles are so good that you can get them down in a really good low pose. Now, he's going to have the Sphexxian Block Commander is going to have the same articulation because it's the same sculpt, but I figured I would just take a look at the unmasked head here for a little bit. We can turn really far to the left or right. I think even more so here. It's a little less bulky, it feels like. Oh, or maybe I'm just pulling it off the socket. So about the same amount of up, and then about the same amount of down. So nothing too crazy to like write home about. Oh, cool, that one came off too. Everything's fine. No big deal. I'm happy with the articulation, aside from the accessories just falling off. And I call them accessories, but like, I really don't want to call them accessories because they are like a major part of the figure. They just happen to be like articulated and like fall off, so they like put them in separately in the package than the main figure. Yeah, you can display them without the wings, but like I feel like that's a major part of the figure. I also kind of want to like highlight one thing that I thought about the wings is I kind of thought that like these were separate pieces and that I could maybe spread them to make them look like he's flying, and that is a no-no. Like, these are glued together. These are not just glued together, these are like one piece of plastic. And so that's kind of disappointing because like, even if this one just like slid down a little bit and gave us kind of like that like flying idea, like that would have been cool. So I'm a little bit disappointed with that. Maybe that's something that they can change with some of these guys that they release down the line. For other accessories, they both have the exact same pairs of hands, except the Block Commander has hands with like little patches of green on the back, and the Prison Guard has hands with little patches of brown. So when I got them all mixed up on my workbench here, that is how I told them apart. As far as what hands they offer, honestly, like I was really excited when I saw them because there was such a variety of hands, and then once I got them, I was like, these are all the same hand. So each figure does come with a pair of vertically oriented grabbing hands, another slightly tighter grabbing pair of vertically oriented grabbing hands, almost fists. Can bugs make a fist? They can't. Another pair of horizontally oriented grabbing hands. So like the hinge is horizontal on these, which I do really appreciate. I'm kind of making fun of it here, but... And then a pair of horizontally oriented grabbing hands. I call all these grabbing hands because truly they are, but there is one set that maybe I was being a little ridiculous on. Maybe there's two sets. See, they're all so similar, it's like really hard to tell which one is kind of which. There is at least one set that I called grabbing hands that these are actually trigger hands. You can see the finger extends on them a little bit forward, but like whichever one that is, you're just gonna have to figure that out yourself, honestly. because in a pile, all these hands just look the same. And there you go. That's how it kind of fits on there. This is the weapon that the Sphexxian Prison Guard comes with. It's an awesome kind of like bone color. Looks really cool, honestly. I love the red on it. Could maybe use a little bit more paint detail, but I just love that it looks like mammalian bone. That's awesome. The Sphexxian Prison Guard also comes with this kind of purplish spear, which is no longer a spear because mine broke coming out of the package, because these are honestly not packaged the best in my opinion. Not a huge deal because like there are so many of the spear in this like set. It's like if you have like 2 or 3 figures, you probably have 2 or 3 of that same spear, but this is like a specific color for this guy, and I actually like the color. I actually like the silvery purple color on it, so a little bit bummed on that. And then the last thing that he comes with are these like little extra rockets, or like wrist rocket laser things, turrets I've called them in the past. And he does have the same plugs that we talked about for like little accessories, so you can put these on his wrist and it makes it look like he's shooting them. He has them on the back as well, and I think that those are the only extra ports that he has on the back and on his wrists. None of his other weapons actually like have those ports, so they will not stick to his body like that. But you could, if you had extra weapons from any of your other guys, or if you bought the weapon accessory pack like I did, you could have him carrying an extra gun or 2. Hands are all the same for the Sphexxian Block Commander, but his spear is more of like just like yellow and silver. Really cool. I like the paint detail on these. Just for comparison, like this is one that came with the engineer, and you can see like just the sheer difference in like sculpt is exactly the same, but detail is crazy different. In fact, I should just paint these. And then he comes with the same rifle, but it's in like more of like a burgundy color with the same red lights on it. And then he also comes with little wrist rockets, but his are painted like this gold color, and they'll fit right on his wrist like this. All right, now for some size comparisons. Let's start off with the Cosmic Legions line, and we will slide in High Warden Slog. High Warden Slog is of course taller and much, much larger than these guys. And to stay on that high and large train, we'll drop Kragnar in the back. Kragnar again is much, much taller and much, much bigger than these guys. Here is a sentry, and we'll have him kind of stand in for like the regular height. I'm not going to get all the little prison guards out this time. He's like a regular height sort of dude. And then another Oleg Thygar. It's going to be another regular height Cosmic Legions. He's about the same size as these guys. For a Mezco 112 collective figure, check out Leatherface. And the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Green Ranger. SH figure arts are going to be much, much smaller, as is the 1000 Toys Airthrow. And then finally, for the smallest of them all, 16-year-old Tsuruya-chan. Final thoughts. I think that these guys are going to look really great on a shelf with everybody else, but I'm really glad that I didn't get multiples of them. If I had to spend 3 times the amount of time trying to make these like stupid little arms and like wings fit into a port that really is not engineered for them, I'd lose it. I'd absolutely lose it. They're definitely not like desk toys for me. They're not toys that I want to have around and like play with and check out. These are like purely display pieces from now on. I'm probably not going to take like many pictures with them unless they're just like standing in the background. They're just not fun to like mess around with these little pieces just constantly falling out, and the wings too. If they were like negligible accessories, like that'd be fine, but I really feel like these are supposed to be on the characters, and so that's just a really big disappointment for me. I personally wouldn't recommend them. I think that you could maybe pick up the rest of the line and be perfectly fine knowing that you don't have these 2 bug boys. So I'm gonna not recommend them just because I'm not personally having a fun time playing with them, even though they are fantastically sculpted. They look really great. I just have not been having a good time with them, like playing wise or posing wise, and so I just personally would not recommend them unless you're a completionist and you just want to finish the wave. Otherwise, that's about it. Check back for the rest of the Cosmic Legion review. I think we're getting really close to the end. I think there's only 2 more, and I think that those 2 are pretty good ones for the end. So check back tomorrow and through the rest of the week for the rest of the Cosmic Legion line. If you haven't seen the reviews on the rest of the Cosmic Legion figures in the line, go ahead and check them out on my channel. I have reviews for almost everybody in the Cosmic Legions line, and by the end of the week I should have the entire line done. You guys have a good one.